There are quite a few people on YouTube who would say China is better than America in more ways than one. And with the addition of this new application in China called Red Note or My Little Red Book, people in America can now speak with people in China without too much difficulty. Before, you would need to register an account with WeChat and you'd need to have a Chinese friend. So this guy that I was watching this morning, on the 17th of February, Monday today, is saying that the military is better is better equipped, better trained than America, is just right. He hasn't researched it, and it feels like it was a script given to him by his local government to do a video on YouTube. He obviously didn't use any AI related to this. China has been involved in one conflict in 1979 where they tried to and failed miserably invade northern Vietnam. I don't know the actual reasons for it, but it didn't last long and the Vietnamese army kicked them out quite quickly. So if we do an AI overview of this, I can read: the United States has a stronger military than China in terms of overall capacities, but China has improved in some areas. China is increasing its military spending quite a lot with the new equipment. But there's an old saying from Not the 9 O'Clock News: you may have the technology, but do you know how to use it? And America, good or bad, has been in many conflicts since World War II. Iraq, for example, would be a big one. Yeah. The size: China has more active duty troops than the United States, but many of them are used to maintain domestic order, so they're not experienced in that way. The United States has a larger military budget than China, even though China is improving it. Capacities: the United States has a superior Air Force, Army, and Navy. China has improved its capacities in areas like hypersonic detection, advanced robotics, and space launch systems. China's Navy has become the world's largest, but the United States is still ahead in terms of operational skills and hardware and military hardware. Other considerations with this one: China's military has issues with corruption, logistics, integration between Army, Navy, and Air Force. In other words, they don't communicate with each other, which is actually a common thing in Asia, that the big companies, they don't communicate within their departments. So you do get the inefficiency, and in China this is widespread because you would have 996, which is 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, when a German company can do exactly the same using the 8-hour day. China lacks combat experience because it hasn't fought a war in decades, as we mentioned before. The Pentagon says that China's Air Force is improving quickly, but it hasn't matched the United States air combat capacities or capabilities with that one. So that's just using AI. So these people who would say these things are saying the greater the number, the better it's going to be, but they just lack the experience of the military experience. And China only has one in 1979, before all this hardware and this technology was invented, and America does. It's like if you were a boss, you would like to employ someone who has experience because it's going to benefit your company and you're going to make more money for the company. Same way, you wouldn't want a company that has thousands of people, but they don't have the experience. And that is the Chinese military. There are more troops, granted, but they don't have the experience, and most of them are related to the domestic the domestic order of that particular country. So maybe the police force is not large enough, so they call in the army to deal with situations like that, maybe a protest which is out of control. They would call in the army for that to help. And remember, China has a population of 1.4 billion people. America has like 325 million. So it's 1/4, maybe something like that, of the size of it. So these people on YouTube, when they do this, they don't really research it, or they're just reading from a script given to them by a propaganda department of the Communist Party. And they would always put China ahead. They would and do that, but they don't really chase the facts. They would only do the positive Chinese side, rather than every story has two sides. And then they would start to go on about what would happen if that mainland China would invade Taiwan. But we've done that before on this channel, and I think that the international forces would actually crush China if they decided to come in, because of the terrain is not suitable for landings. The troops would have to come on ferries across the Taiwan Straits, and these are not going to be protected. They are going to have warships around them, but it's not a very good kind of like ship to deliver, because they can easily be hit by a missile and they don't have their own defenses with that. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. So do take these people on YouTube who do criticize America and they say communism is better than democracy. I believe in democracy. I believe that a lot of people in America do have they have a reasonably or a good life. There are, as we would see quite often on these anti-American channels, they would show the drug addicts on Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia, and they sort of imply this happens everywhere, on every single street corner. But they won't show the beautiful parts of America, or even the places like Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, or the Las Vegas Strip, which people like to go to for entertainment. It's all food for thought, and I'm just pointing my point of view out here as someone who's not American and who is not Chinese but does live in Asia. Leave your comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. My name is James. This is my Winnie the Pooh cup. And I'll wish you a happy day. Thank you. Bye-bye.